Introducing the all-new Italiano range of pizza. Pizza Ultimo. Pizza Hut.
The truth. If you believe in your own right to be informed, if you believe in the power of information, newsfirst.lk, because news means freedom.
විදේශ මුදල් මේ එක එකට ලැබුණද කියන එකත් ආණ්ඩුවෙන් විභාග කරලා බලන්න කියලා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
Still in local news, Minister Maithripala Sirisena, who is the Minister of Health, says he will not weaken the work that must be done for the people on account of any material gifts. The minister made these comments at an event held in Colombo today.
විශේෂයෙන්ම දුම් වැටි පිළිබඳව දුම් බීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
I faced a myriad of problems and issues when preparing the new laws with regard to tobacco consumption and the displaying of pictorial warnings on cigarette packets. Although various demons and thugs attempted to surround me while I was carrying out this task, I must clearly state that I will not bow before any demon. I will not weaken my policies, the policies of this government, and the work that must be done for the people for any material gifts.
And up next is Action TV.
While circulars have been issued pertaining to the enrolling of students to grade 1 and advanced level classes in schools, there are also circulars in existence which lay out the procedure to be followed when enrolling students to all other grades. While students are enrolled to other classes, considering vacancies in those classes, instruments which ensure transparency, such as interviews, are not held when enrolling students to these classes. As such, the usual procedure followed in enrolling students to grades other than grade 1 and advanced level classes is that the principal of the relevant school makes their selection and then refers them to the secretary to the Ministry of Education for approval. In addition, school principals must also enroll students who have been recommended by the Education Secretary. The entire exercise takes place absent any transparency. The enrolling of a student to grade 3 of Dharmaloka Vidyalaya in Kalaniya last Tuesday to fill a vacancy left by a student who passed away last Monday bears testament to this. A proper and transparent mechanism is being followed at Isipatana College, Colombo for the enrolling of students to fill vacancies in grade 2 and grade 3 classes for 2013. It is also notable that students who apply for these vacancies using the applications issued by the school are subjected to an interview prior to being enrolled. On the 29th of January, the principal of Isipatana College, Colombo, submitted to the Education Secretary the list of names of students who had been selected to fill vacancies in grades 2 and 3 at the school in accordance with the marks they had scored at the interviews. Upon receipt of the list of names, the Education Secretary had the opportunity to call for an inquiry into the competence of the marking scheme for the interviews based on which these students were selected for enrollment. As per the powers of his position, the Education Secretary still has the power to call for such an inquiry. It could be that the Education Secretary has not taken such steps because he is satisfied with the interview process. However, the course of action being followed by the Education Secretary is not permissible on any count on the basis of justice and fairness. Disregarding the list of names sent to him by the principal of Isipatana College, Colombo on the 29th of January, the Education Secretary has since, from time to time, sent written orders to the principal instructing him to enroll certain students to fill vacancies in the grade 2 and 3 classes at the school. While some of these students are students receiving education at international schools, none of them have applied to be enrolled at Isipatana College, Colombo. Some of the students who applied for enrollment to grade 2 and were subjected to the interviews conducted by Isipatana College are now students who have not received grade 1 education as a result of not being enrolled at the school. If there is any suspicion regarding the interview process, then an inquiry should be called for. Is it in any way fair or justified to completely disregard in an ad hoc fashion the students who have been selected through the application and interview process without holding such an inquiry? On what basis and for whose want did the Education Secretary recommend the students who have now been enrolled for these classes at Isipatana College, Colombo without facing the application and interview process? Minister of Education, this one is over to you.
A woman who attempted to commit suicide along with her 2 children by jumping into a river in Miravode in Balachene today. The police said that the 2 children died in the incident.
The police say that the children, 2 girls aged 3 and 6, had drowned after they were pushed into the river by their mother. Area residents had rescued the mother, who had jumped into the river as well, and she is now receiving treatment at the Batiklo hospital. The police say that the woman attempted to commit suicide due to a personal dispute. On the 21st of this month, a mother in Kesalhenawa, Anguruwattota in Horana attempted to commit suicide with her newborn baby by jumping into a well. The infant drowned while the mother was rescued by the area residents. On the 20th of this month, the father jumped into a well along with his son in Yodakandia, Tissamaharama. The father, aged 55, and the boy, aged 5, lost their lives. On the 17th of this month, a woman in Tandikulam Baunia pushed her 3 children into a well and then attempted suicide by jumping into the well. The woman was rescued while the 3 children, aged 4, 2 and 1, drowned.
50ක් පමණ කෝවාගේ වෙන්නේ depression කියලා සුළු මානසික රෝග හින්දා.
50% of these suicides take place due to depression. Depression can be treated very easily. If someone says that they want to commit suicide, we must pay heed to them. Most of the individuals who commit suicide communicates it to someone before they do it. So when someone makes such a statement, act on it.
ඒක අපි හිතට අරගෙන අපි මොකුත් හරි කරන්න ඕනේ.
In other local news, a mother in the Monaragal area has made a desperate plea to secure the release of her son, who is currently in prison for a murder that took place in Abu Dhabi. 33-year-old Amarasinghe Arachige Gamini Pereira, a resident of Jayasena Gama Horumbua in Monaragala, travelled to Abu Dhabi in September 2008 seeking employment. 25-year-old W. Pragit Madhusankar, a resident of Marawala Chilau, worked alongside Gamini.
An incident that occurred between Amarasinghe Arachige Gamini Pereira and W. Pragit Madhushankar on the 9th of December 2008 resulted in Madhushankar's death, and according to Gamini's mother, this message was conveyed to them by the 24th of December. According to the Deputy General Manager of the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau, Mangala Randaniya, Madhushankar had been killed in the dispute that arose with Gamini.
I call on everyone to save my son. Reports have emerged that he will be sentenced to death on the 30th. How can I live without my son? He can be saved if a pardon is granted. He travelled abroad without even getting married on behalf of us, and he had to face an unexpected incident.
The victim is in Maravala. They have requested for a pardon from the victim's parents. I believe that they will provide a pardon. There are about 10 such Sri Lankans living overseas. The Minister of External Affairs and Minister Dilan Pereira are working tirelessly to secure their release. Court has granted time until 31st of May to obtain a pardon. If not, he will receive the death penalty and they will decide on a date for it. After the 31st of May, they will not take up the case again in court.
Now, we made inquiries regarding this matter from the father of the victim. He noted that he had made his stance clear to the officials. He added that it is painful to relive the death of his beloved son.
In business news tonight, the government has decided to construct a coal power plant in the southern province. Chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, W.B. Ganegal, stated that the plant will be constructed with aid from Japan.
Chairman of the CEB, W.B. Ganegal, noted that the proposed coal power plant in the southern province will have a capacity of 500 megawatts. However, a decision is yet to be taken on the exact location to construct the power plant. The chairman of the CEB said that discussions in this regard were held during the president's visit to Japan. Ganegal added that further discussions will be held with Japanese officials. Meanwhile, the second phase of the Norotchole coal power plant and the Sampur power plant in Trincomalee are to be added to the national grid.
Lionel Soisa, News First U reporter from Hinguragoda, filed this report today.
The bridge constructed across the Valley Alla, located on the shortest route between Kirimati and Kaudulla in the Madrigiri electorate, was washed away by floodwaters in 2010. Although this road provides people with access to numerous facilities, including shops, schools, places of worship and the public cemetery, over the past 3 years, authorities have not taken steps to repair the bridge or provide the people with an alternative route.
The case filed against former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca and retired Captain Seneka Haripriya de Silva for committing mutiny in subordination to the government and harbouring army deserters was taken up before the Colombo High Court today. The case was taken up before High Court Judge Kumudini Vikramasinghe. Brigadier P.J. Ashok, who gave evidence in court on an earlier occasion, responding to cross-examination by attorney-at-law Salia Piri, said that he is not aware of the whereabouts of the 10 soldiers who provided security to the former army commander. The witness said measures were not taken to arrest these individuals as they were considered to have left the army. Brigadier Ashok said that a team of officers had visited the former army commander's residence to nab these individuals, but they were not inside the residence at the time of the incident. He further said due to these reasons they did not go in pursuit of these individuals. The witness said that he was not aware of any incident that took place on the 15th of December 2009.
It took a long time for our case to be taken up. A case pertaining to 2 elite cadres was heard for just over 1.5 hours. I was not surprised when 2 low-ranking cadres such as this are facing such a prosecution, as Prabhakaran's friends from childhood and those who brought in weapons from ships are freed without any prosecution. Instead of spending on lawyers, what these elite cadres should have also done is get close to someone in the government and obtain freedom through state sponsorship.
On a lighter note, let's take a quick look at the newspaper cartoon of the day. Starting off your sports bulletin with a look at some cricket news, Sri Lanka skipper Angelo Matthews says that this year's Champions Trophy tournament will be challenging as it will be played outside the subcontinent. Matthews made this statement to the media before departing to England for the Champions Trophy.
Sri Lanka is pitted against host England, Australia and New Zealand in Group A of this year's Champions Trophy, which begins on the 6th of June. The Lankans will begin their Champions Trophy campaign on the 9th of June in Cardiff against New Zealand. Special religious observances were held at Sri Lanka Cricket Headquarters in Colombo prior to the team's departure to England.
Group එක වශයෙන් බැලුවොත් අපිට ඉන්න ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාව, නවසීලන්තය සහ එංගලන්තය.
Australia, New Zealand and England are in our group and they play well in those conditions. Our main objective is to acclimatize to the conditions.
අපේ main objective එක ඇවිල්ලා අපිට හොඳට ඒ conditions වලට ඉක්මනින් සූදානම් වෙලා ක්‍රීඩා කරන එක. මම හිතන්නේ හුඟක් හොඳ අභියෝගයක් මොකද
I think it is a good challenge because the Sri Lankan team is playing in a tournament after 1.5 months. We have a very good team which comprises of experienced cricketers and newcomers. I believe we have a balanced team for this tournament.
ඒ වගේම නායක ක්‍රීඩකයන් හුඟක් දෙනෙක් එංගලන්තේ ක්‍රීඩා කරලා තියෙන ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ අපි කණ්ඩායමක් විදියට හුඟක් සමබරව එහිදී මුණ දෙන්න සූදානම්ින් ඉන්නවා.
Ex-umpire John Holder has revealed that he was once offered money to influence the outcome of an international match. Holder, who stood in 11 test matches, turned down £10,000 to manipulate a one-day international between Sri Lanka and Pakistan in Sharjah in 1993. Holder told the BBC that if he was able to lull Sri Lankan batsmen into putting on a partnership of 85, he would be given £10,000 in cash. Well, in more cricket news, the England and Wales Cricket Board and the International Cricket Council announced today that England has been confirmed as the host country for the 2019 Cricket World Cup. The 2019 World Cup is scheduled to involve 10 teams and will be hosted at 10 different venues, which will be announced later. ECB Chief Executive David Collier, releasing a statement, said that the ECB was honoured to have been selected to stage one of the largest and most important global sports events. Incidentally, England hosted the first World Cup in 1975 and also staged the tournament in 1979, 1983 and 1999.